Good day, everyone. This is Dave Young with Repro Products. In this video, we're going to take a brief look at offset alignments, widenings, and how you can use both of these to control the behavior of your corridors. If we start with the simple assumption we're going to create a corridor using these two alignments, just a simple east-west, north-south intersection. If we create a simple corridor, it's going to look like this. Now, real brief, let's analyze what's going to happen here in real life. If traffic's coming from the west and they want to turn north and go up this secondary road, they're going to have to wait for traffic coming from the east to pass, which can create a backup in here. So we're going to add a widening to this so that there's a little passing lane so that they can get around this intersection. Rather than creating a turn lane in the middle, we're just going to allow them to go off on the right. Now to do that, I need to create an offset alignment or something for my corridor to target so that it looks like this. This is the ultimate goal of creating this. Now I could do this with a simple polyline, just draw a polyline and use that as my target. But the drawback with polylines is that they are static. They're not easy to change. You basically have to start over with it. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to create an offset alignment so that we can see what it looks like. I'm going to show you a brief one in here. I want to create this cyan line as an offset with widening. So, and ultimately, it's going to look like this. Now, before I go too much further, just a quick little tip here. Notice how I'm getting all these primary, passing lanes, and secondary, all these station offset for these other objects. Have you ever wondered how you can turn those off? You don't want to see them anymore. Well, quick tip here on this. I can simply select any of these alignments. I can do it from my prospector. Maybe we'll grab the curb return alignment here. I don't want to see station offset through my tooltips. I want to select one of these. And then back in my drawing, select similar. If I bring up the properties for this, at the very top of my properties dialog box, there's a thing here for show tooltips. I'm simply going to set that to no. And I'm going to do that for my centerline alignments as well. Actually, I do want to see my centers. I don't want to see the offset alignments. I've got 4 of those. I'm going to select one of those. Select similar. Properties, show tooltip, set that to no. Now when I go back to my drawing and I hover, I should see station offset for only my primary and secondary. I still haven't changed the passing line. Now that option is available not only in alignments, but on surfaces as well. Surface properties, show tooltips is off, so I don't see that elevation all the time. That is not something you have to do. It's just kind of nice to be able to turn them off. So I'm going to switch back over to my base drawing here. This east-west alignment, it's called primary. Now this is a data reference. It's coming out of another drawing, so I don't have the ability to create a widening in it by itself. So I have to go back to my Home tab, Alignment, Create Offset. And here we're going to get the dialog box to create a new alignment. I'm going to create an offset, give it a better name, primary passing lane. Now I have the option to do from start to end. I don't need that much of it. So I'm thinking I'm just going to come in here and set my start at maybe 550 and end it at 850. That's enough for my passing. I don't need anything on the left-hand side. I'm just making a passing line on the right. So I'm going to set that one to 0 for number of stations on the left. Number of offsets on the right. I want one of those. I don't want it to be 12 feet. This is the width of my default lane. I'm not going to go with any widening in here yet. I'm just going to set that. Hit OK. And now I have a 12-foot offset here. I'm going to select my white offset alignment here. The ribbon tabs allows me to add a widening. Do I want to create it as a new alignment? No, I do not. I just want to add and widen this one. It's asking for a start station. I'm going to enter station 550. In station 850. And it's asking for a widening offset. I'm going to enter 27 feet. It's going to be 12 feet from my initial lane plus 15 feet wider, 27. Do I want it on the left or the right? No, this is going to be on the right side. And now I come up with nothing. Why? Well, let's think about this. I want my widening to start at station 550 and go out to 850, but I need room in here to add the transitions on each end. It wouldn't do it automatically, so I'm going to basically undo what I just did. I'm going to grab this alignment. I'm going to drag it back a bit. This is Civil 3D after all. Just stretch it out on each end somewhat. Now add my widening again. Start at 550, go out to 850, and make it 27 feet. This time, I get my transitions on each end, and I can adjust the length of my overall alignment if I want to. And we do get over here the widening parameters. So my offset is 27. I have my start and end stations. That's where the actual full 27 width is. If I need to, I can change my transition length. Maybe I want to give them a little bit more room to get into this. A little bit bigger curve. It didn't like that one for some reason. Curve radius 2, make that just 25 feet. Same thing on the other end, make it a little bit shorter. Okay. Now I've got this set the way I want to, and I can close the palette. So this is going to be my new widening alignment. If I want to, I can kind of stretch these back a little bit just to kind of neaten it up, less stuff hanging off the sides. Okay. And that is going to be my new offset. So how do I apply this to my corridor? Well, first I need to build the corridor. So click on Create Intersection. Intersection point right there where you would expect it. Little wizard comes up. We're going to just go through here pretty quickly. I like all the assemblies I already have selected, so I'm going to create it. So here I have my intersection that's been created for me. Now, you may be wondering, back when I created the intersection, let me recreate one again real quick. Why didn't I just specify the offset parameter for that passing lane right here in my creation wizard? Well, if I do this, at offset parameters, and down here for the right offset alignment definition, say use existing alignment, yes. And I'm going to pick that passing lane. If I continue on with this thought and say create intersection, I actually just go to next, it's going to create, the corridor creation is grayed out. I'm going to create intersection just so we can see what happens. I get a dialog box that pops up and tells me I have not assigned offset profiles for that passing lane. Basically, I don't know what to use for a profile in that passing lane is what it's telling me. So I don't want to do it this way. I want to just maintain that standard default slope across this intersection. So I'm going to cancel out of this and not do it that way. Instead, it may seem like it takes a little bit longer, but it's actually a little bit easier. I'm going to zoom into my corridor a little bit, select it, and go to corridor properties. Under the parameters, for that primary baseline, that's the section through the intersection here, I'm going to select the targets for it. I don't need to do all of them. I'm just going to pick the baseline and click on targets for it. Okay. So here, now I know this is on the right-hand side of the road, so anywhere it says lane super elevation AOR right, I need to add a width alignment to it. So I need to target not only that primary right 12 foot, but I want to target the passing lane. And actually I could delete the primary right. So we'll do that one. Here's another lane on the right side. I'm going to add the passing lane and delete the primary right. And one more spot we're going to do is right down here. We're going to add passing lane and remove the right 12-foot. Hit OK and hit OK and OK one more time and rebuild the corridor. Now we see that the right lane is actually targeting this alignment. And if I grab my grips and stretch them out further to the ends, we get the event viewer, pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, might as well. Before I continue, the event viewer came up and told me I had all sorts of weird errors. They're not really. I don't want to see that anymore. Another tip of the day, how to turn that off. You go into your settings, edit drawing settings. Under the ambient settings tab, general, we could say show event viewer, set that to no. Now, when I drag this out, it will rebuild it correctly for me without popping up the event viewer saying it's broken. So now I have that corridor looking the way I want to. It's actually targeting this passing lane now. And from here, I can do what I need to on the corridor. I'm just going to go back to corridor properties, feature codes. I want to show that all codes with hatching just to see what it looks like with a little bit of color on it. And this is what we're going to get. Now, still not great, but I have another video out there that shows you how to adjust the code sets to make this look and appear the way you want it to. If you'd like to learn more, I have other videos up on the web, or you can check us out at www.reproproducts.com.